Hello guys, welcome to another tier list I'm going to be making for, I think I'm going to create a tier list playlist on here, and this one I'm really excited for. In a follow up to Tekken 2 character tier list, and the first one I've done, which is 151 original Pokemon, we're going to be doing another fighting game, and it is the fighting game of fighting games, really, guys. Tekken 2 is my favourite, I'd say, of all the fighting games. But good God, it's close. And Street Fighter 2, in my opinion, is the goat of all of them. It is the best, still to this day, I think. And it's kind of the one that started it all. Of course, the Street Fighter 2. Games preceded it, including Street Fighter, the original. This was the first one, really, that brought in a lot of the traits that still exist in fighting games, modern fighting games today. Um, and I feel like I should say at the start, the thing that's really good about this game, I think, is it's the first fighting game really that had serious balance. There's one character in particular that's really OP. Spoiler alert there. But take that character out, and I feel like most of these characters were really, really balanced in terms of you could do bits with any of them really. Unlike maybe even Tekken 2 or a couple of characters in there, they were a bit shit. You put all the characters in the hands of equally skilled players, it's kind of close. No, there probably does exist legit tier list to this. Street Fighter 2 is such a legendary game. It's still played today. I watch occasionally. Last time I watched was about a year ago. There's an OG tournament from back in the day featuring Daigo, Justin Wong, etc. And this, of course, as ever, is completely subjective. Certain characters will be higher because I'm just better with them than they perhaps should be. So we got our categories here. Oh, they were already made. So World Warrior is just God tier. Great's basically A. Good's B. Okay, C. And You Lose is D tier. First and foremost, I'm looking at this list, guys, and I don't profess to know anything of Street Fighter 2 even, because there were so many fucking iterations of this game. I don't know who the fuck this is, so I'm putting that in You Lose. It's like an early version of, what was his name, Seth? Or Seth or some shit? Let me zoom in. Who's this guy? Not got a clue. I played World Warrior. I played Hyper Fighting Turbo. The new characters. It's all the classic things. I guess that's Shin Akuma. We've got Evil Ryu. Is this like an Evil Ken? I don't even know what game this guy's from, so I'm going to put all these in. There. I know Evil Ryu is in future games and shit, but I can't put them any higher because I don't remember using these in Street Fighter 2, guys, unfortunately. But good God, Evil Ryu is so badass. Definitely more badass design. Yeah, Akuma's got two characters there. I might as well rank them the same, but I don't really know the difference, to be quite honest. So I thought I'd put them out the way straight away. Every other character on here I'm very, very familiar with. So I was okay at this game, actually. To be honest, Street Fighter I ever took seriously, to be honest. Street Fighter 4 was good. Alpha apparently was good. I played 5 as well, but it wasn't great, to be honest. So let's start with T-Hawk. T-Hawk, I should point out straight away, for the sake of Zangief ranking later on, I was never very good at doing the 360 analog stick then into control. It kind of do a 270 actually. I could never really pull them off consistently. I could do them occasionally, these grapple throws, but never great. And that was one of his special moves. He also had this attack where you jump up and press in. I think you pressed all the punch buttons or all the kick buttons together, and he kind of do a diving headbutt. So it's quite a good anti to projectiles like Hadouken, Sonic Boom, or Sagat's Tiger projectile thing. Or Chun-Li's, for example. Dalsim's Fire, you get the point. He was pretty well balanced. A large character, I don't know if it means they have great hitboxes in this game. Wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. I think he's kind of fair to middling, to be honest, T-Hawk. I'm going to put him in good. He was definitely useful in the right hands. Um, but I was never that good at him. And again, this is subjective, guys. Let me know down below in the comments, like where you'd have some of these characters, higher or lower. I don't know what the consensus is actually in the official tier list the pros made, if you like, and where T-Hawk is. But I'm going to put him in good. Vega is 100% going to go World Warrior for me. I love Vega in this game. To be fair, Vega, every Street Fighter game that I've played, Vega was solid in. I think the first editions of releasing the new characters, he could only do his dives in his own stage when he hangs onto the cage. But later on, they made it so that you could jump off the walls. Again, apologies if that's wrong. I think that was the case. So he was weakened a lot in that regard. But this list, as well as like how I would rank them in terms of, say for example, I clicked random and how happy I would be to get them. It's also like how difficult they were to beat in the hands of AI. I feel like Vega was one of the hardest because he was so fucking fast. He was agile. He could do his little backflip to get out of range, and I think he could get through projectiles with backflip. Too sure about that. I mean, he could just jump over them anyway. He had a really high jump. Excuse me. His grapples were fucking badass. You could vary it to like just an attack off the cage or a grapple. You could grapple in midair as well, which is always cool. You could kind of, using Vega against AI, you could kind of get them in a bit of a chain of just jumping off and picking them up for a grapple as soon as they pick up. It was just really effective, man. I love using Vega in this game, and I always kind of dreaded the fight against Vega. You can anti-air his dive off the cage with uppercuts, and yeah, I mean most characters had an anti-air. Guile's flash kick, for example. But yeah, I just think Vega was really good. I feel like, bit of a spoiler, I feel like the bosses were right on this game. They're all decent. Cammy next up. I think it was better with Cammy than T-Hawk. Yeah, I think Cammy had better variety. A special kick would go under a lot of attacks and fireballs, for example, I think. The special kick was pretty good. She had decent variety, badass stage as well. And she's British, so that gets her points, of course. It was the first British character in Street Fighter. At least Street Fighter 2. I don't know if there's one in Street Fighter OG. Pretty memorable design, iconic character. I mean, they all are, to be fair. Like T-Hawk, for example, was like clearly like the inspiration for like some Michelle and Julia or Nightwolf, as it called in Mortal Kombat. Yeah, Cammy was pretty solid. Never really struggled too much to defeat her, to be honest. But I think she deserves to be in the good tier. Next up, we've got Ken. Ken, 100% is going in the World Warrior. I think he's going ahead of Vega for me. Ryu and Ken are my main in this game. Think of all the characters. Some characters are kind of like more difficult to master than others and get good with. I think Ryu and Ken are kind of basic, to be honest. They're almost like beginner-friendly characters, but they're just so good. They have such variety. They're just direct palette swaps until like latter editions of Street Fighter 2, where they brought in combo systems and specials. Like the special meter and shit. And then I always felt like Ken's focused more on Shoryuken. He had a slightly different Shoryuken to Ryu, but Ryu had a slightly better Hadouken. Just really, really good coverage. They had good anti-airs, good lows, great combos that were easy to do. Really easy specials to do. Hadouken, of course, is legendary. I don't know what the fuck the Japanese name is for like the back spinning kick where you go down. You go from 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock basically and then press kick. No idea what it's called. But that attack was really good. And you got Shoryuken, of course, standard. Just really, really effective characters, Ryu and Ken, and they're definitely World Warrior for me. Like I said, they are my mains. Chun-Li. I was never that great with Chun-Li, to be honest. Iconic character. The first, kind of the queen of fighting games, Chun-Li. She was like the first female character. Until Cammy. I'm just going to bring good. I preferred using Cammy to Chun-Li, to be honest. Although actually, Chun-Li could jump off walls like Vega. To be fair, could Vega even do that? I mean, he could do a special move where he like pushes himself off a wall, but Chun-Li, if you're literally like jumping back, you can jump back off a wall, and like that was so useful sometimes. It was very hard to corner Chun-Li. She had a rapid kick, of course, where you just spam kick, and like E Honda, if you got in the way of that, you just get fucked up. She had uh, axle bicycle kick thing, where she'd go upside down and kind of like windmill kick. That was pretty effective. And she also had a fireball, although her fireball it took slightly longer to do than Ryu and Ken's, because I might be wrong. I don't know if that was a charge move. I think it was just you kind of went back to 6 o'clock, then to 9 o'clock, then all the way around to 3 o'clock on the analog stick, and then press punch. So I don't think it was quite as good as a Hadouken, for example. But it's still useful. Yeah. To be honest, in an actual tier list, I figure like Chun-Li would be higher. But I never really used her quite so much. But iconic stage, iconic theme. It's an iconic character, Chun-Li. Definitely paved the way for a lot of fighting game women, like female representation. Next up we have Guile. Guile's going in great. Controversial in my own mind right now, to be quite honest, because I probably prefer using Chun-Li and Cammy than Guile. But I was just never very good at charge. Well, no, I mean to say that I'm going to rank some charge characters a lot higher. I was better with other characters. Like I've struggled against projectile characters with charge characters in this game. Guile, of course, is a charge character. He has the famous Sonic Boom and Flash Kick. He also had he could grapple in midair. It was pretty cool. His like little upside down kick was fucking sick as well. His sweep was pretty effective. He did it twice as well. So sometimes if computer blocked the first one, you kept going, you'd get them with the second one. Guile's that strong, and he's that renowned as being strong in this game, I think, that he deserves to be great. And definitely Guile, I'd say of all the 8 characters, he was the one I dreaded facing the most. Particularly because like he was so good against Ryu and Ken. I found that he'd Sonic Boom, you'd jump over it and Flash Kick straight away. Whenever you'd get start a like campaign, basically, and you'd get to like say you'd start with Ken, and you know then Guile's going to be stage 8. It was always like, oh fuck me, you know. He was like the one I dreaded fighting in stage 8 the most for sure. So on another day, if I might even have put him World Warrior, to be honest, but I wasn't quite as good with him, and it is a subjective list. I'm going to put Guile in great. Ryu going number 1. Like I said, they were kind of like palette swaps, basically. There was no real difference to them until later editions, Ryu and Ken. But Ryu got a few differences here and there, and I preferred him to Ken. I also think he's just a better character, more iconic character. He is the face of the series. He always was, I think, but then like they made Guile for American audiences, but still like Ryu is the most popular. And yeah, it was just a huge inspiration for a lot of characters. You know, there'd be no Jin without Ryu, for example. Classic character, like an icon of not just Street Fighter, but no fighting games, but the whole video game series, an icon of Japan. Everything I've said about Ken applies to Ryu, so there's not much more to say. I think he was just slightly cooler. I think he had a better stage and theme as well. Ryu's theme's one of my favourites in this. Probably behind only Zangief's and Balrog's. Another theme I love, another character I love is Sagat. Sagat goes World Warrior, 100%. He's fucking sick. And the question is, do I put him ahead of Vega? I don't think so. I also prefer using Ryu and Ken to Sagat, but definitely if I were to get Sagat on a random, I'd be very happy. God, he was so good. His uppercut, his Tiger uppercut was fucking insane. Like, it would cover the whole screen. You just cannot jump over that motherfucker. He could anti Vega a lot. Yeah, I'll say stuff like this, and people will be like, I guess, oh, why wouldn't you put him ahead of Vega then? But of course, it's classic. I should point out, of course, it's classic rock paper scissors. Any of these characters can beat anyone else. But Sagat is so useful. The only thing I'd say against Sagat is that when you were playing against him, when he was AI controlled, there's a little trick you can do with it. He's just so easy. All he do most of the time is medium range, like middle of the screen fireball, then low. Then you go mid, then low, then mid, then low, and you just kind of wait, jump over one of them, duck the next, jump over, and then kick him. Unless he tiger uppercuts out the way. But even on like the highest difficulty, I never really struggled to fight against Sagat. Particularly with Ryu and Ken. I always did really well against him with Blanka as well, for some reason. But in my hands, he was pretty effective, and I feel like he had a lot of ways to deal with a lot of characters. Tiger Knee was useful. That was pretty quick as well, from like arm's length range of the opponent. You could just get in. His throw was one of the weaker throws, I think, to be honest, because they always seem to get up like really quickly at it. Just the sheer range of his attacks. He's the tallest character, I think. Is he taller than Zangief? It's probably close between them two. Or T-Hawk. T-Hawk is massive as well, actually. But I feel like he had the greatest range of all the characters. Balrog is, in the right hands, very, very useful. The tournaments I was talking about, I remember seeing Daigo, the legend, using Balrog. And good God, was it just an absolute beatdown he did on a lot of good opponents. I was never that great with Balrog, to be honest. I'm just going to put him in good. But in reality, he's probably much higher than that. Against computer as well, I felt like he was really. There was a bit of a hack I got onto, again, using Blanka, actually, where you just spam electrics and the computer would just kind of just run into it like dicks. You could just spam and wait till, like, as he's getting up on the floor, you'd land right next to him and then spam again. So I never really struggled against him. But he did have some really good moves. I love his throw, the headbutt. Of course, he's based off Mike Tyson, originally called M. Bison as well, so what's not to love there? It's probably my favourite stage and favourite theme as well, Balrog's, the Vegas Casino. And yeah, his moves were really cool, to be fair. If you hold in all the punches and then all kicks and release them, he'd do like a spinning punch. Then he'd do his charging uppercut and charging punch. That was it, really. His special was really fucking cool as well, when he kind of like does his 10 punch like 3 times in a row and then just like fucks them up. It's probably my favourite special in the latter editions of all the characters in this. Yeah, I was just never that great with Balrog, although I still do love him as a character, and he's again a Street Fighter icon. One of those characters that like need to be in every Street Fighter game, in my opinion. Same with M. Bison. M. Bison will always be the ultimate Street Fighter villain for me, my opinion. I feel like I was better with Vega and Sagat than Bison, but he goes in World Warrior. I was still pretty good with Bison, and again he was fucking sick. You could do the down charge, then up kick, like where he'd like head stomp, and then you could follow that in with a punch where he'd kind of like swoop down and chop them in the head. The famous Psycho Crusher, his slide kick was pretty good. It was really fucking elusive, very difficult to fight against in the hands of the AI as well. I had ways to fight against Bison, but it wasn't uncommon for me to spend a lot of time just trying to fucking beat Bison, taking like the higher difficulties. It was very tough, and every character kind of had an equal fighting chance against Bison. It felt like, to me, like there wasn't like a character that I went to like Blanka against Balrog or Sagat, or I always did really well with Zangief against Vega for some reason. And Bison, it was kind of a bit more balanced. I feel like Ryu and Ken did okay against them, but good God, was he hard. And I would always definitely be happy if I got him on like a random, hypothetically, for example. just a solid character, man. Iconic, like great design, great look, great stage, and the number one villain in this game. I also really loved Raul Julia's portrayal of Minifil because it's so quotable. There were so many memes come out of that, like for me it's Tuesday, for example, or like the anime where he's just like, yes. Like, what's not to love about Bison, man? Like I say, he's one of the characters that transcends even like the genre as a fighting game as a video game legend. Next up we have Honda. I'm gonna put Honda in great ahead of Guile. Reality Guile probably is better, but I was okay with Honda. Again, the fact is, I mean, even though Bison was a charge character, I feel like Bison is ahead of Honda for me. But Honda was really good. I was decent with Honda. You had the punch spam, the counterpart to Chun-Li's kick spam, in close range, and certainly if you had the opponent against the wall, like, God, that was so devastating. You'd also have the diving headbutt, and you'd hold down charge, press up kick, and he'd kind of do like this sit-in attack. Kind of reminds me of like Jack's Flapjack in Tekken. Not a huge amount more to say about him. His throws were sick. He'd have the one where he'd bear hug and then he'd like knee someone to the face. I was really like I feel like if a character has a grapple move where it repeats, I always preferred that to throws, to be honest. Like say someone like Bison doesn't have that, or Sagat or Vega. He had that, and Bison, fucking Honda, sorry. He had that, and that was definitely like OP. If you're up against a computer in a high difficulty, they'd mash buttons faster than fucking humanly possible, I swear down. And they could sometimes get like fucking half your health down even. It was ridiculous. It's a solid character. I never really struggled against him that much, to be honest. I always found a way to counter him with Ryu or Blanca, or Vega or something. You know, just a fast, agile character would do well against Honda. But he was pretty solid and deserves his place in great tier. But he doesn't quite make World Warrior. Dhalsim, again, I feel like into an actual tier list, Dhalsim's, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, down below. Yeah, Dhalsim was one of the better characters ranked, wasn't he? I'm going to put him lower on great, though. Probably ahead of Guile. I feel like I was better with Dhalsim than Guile. Because Dhalsim could teleport, which is fucking badass. Bit like Yoshimitsu. Just something I should have pointed out about Yoshimitsu in the second two. I don't know if I did. But he could fucking teleport behind opponents, which is sick. He had one of them spam grapples where he just like fucking donkey punches people non-stop. And then he could fire fireballs as well. And also he had Yoga Flame. But the main iconic thing about Dhalsim and the main advantage of him was just the sheer range. You could anti-air people so well. It's very hard to approach Dhalsim when he's in the hands of a good player. And also you could kind of punch under fireballs. You could press down and kick and he'd kind of slide under and get closer to your opponent. Or you could just do down punch. A lot of his good range attacks, his little punches, chipped very little damage, to be fair. But that was it. I feel like it was death by 1,000 stings with Dhalsim. You just keep chipping in these little things. You could also jump and while midair, hold down and kick. And he'd kind of do this like weird little arrowing like movement where he'd move closer to the opponent. You could kind of cancel that or like manipulate how far across the screen you went by the strength of the kick you'd press. And it was just really... Did you do a kick to do that? Yeah, I think you did. Oh, I think there was a kick version and a punch version actually, where you'd go feet first or head first. And you could just kind of manipulate how close you got to the opponent. I feel like Dhalsim was the master of range in this game, like manipulating how far or close away you want the opponent. And then you could teleport behind him or something. The more I say it, the more he should really be World Warrior tier, but I was just never quite as good with him. I feel like he's a harder character to use. And also he did have, because he was a bit OP in that regard, they made his jump a lot slower. He has the slowest jump. It'd take a fucking year to land. So it's very hard, like dodging fireballs sometimes with Dhalsim. You're trying to jump over them. Particularly you have to fire at you at a different pace. Sometimes I'd just try and jump and just get caught by them because he just hangs in midair like a motherfucker. So I'm going to put him in great tier there. But again, it wouldn't surprise me really if he was a lot higher on other people's list. Blanka might surprise you. Blanka's going to World Warrior for me. I fucking love Blanka. I was really good with Blanka. I'm going to put him there, I think. I think of all the agile characters, he's only behind Vega. And I liked fast characters in this game, as you can see. Yeah, it was really good. Of all the charge characters, actually, he's second, really, behind Vega, not. He had his electric spam that was really useful, like I said, against AI in particular. Like, you could just hack them to death, really. But he had a spinning if you charged back and then forward punch. That could cross the whole screen, like Psycho Crusher. It was really fucking good. And also, same with Honda. He was basically like Honda, to be honest. Just better, in my opinion. Because he had a spam move up close, do a lot of damage. Like, it's probably not as good as the 100 hand slap for like chip damage. Because like if you chip and block his electric, it pushes you further back out of their reach, I think, with the electric than 100 hand slap or Chun-Li's kicks. But I feel like he had much quicker and better charge attacks than Honda. He was better in the air. Although when you're in the air trying to like kick them, it felt like he didn't have great range, to be honest, Blanka, in that regard. But I just really loved using him, loved his stage, loved his theme, his iconic character design. Kind of hate what they did to him in the films, but hey ho, it's God, the films were awful. They really were. Then again, like most fighting game films are, Tekken films are kind of awful except the animated one. I don't know. Mortal Kombat was good. I've made a mistake here, guys, because I need quite clearly, I think, need to make. We're gonna make this one. Oh shit! I need to change that. That can go like that. I need to make a new tier here. He's in a world of his own. His own tier, Beyond God mode, Akuma, 100%. Akuma is actually banned in like the tournaments I was watching, like the old OG tournaments of Street Fighter 2. Akuma's just straight up banned. There is no debate. It doesn't matter who you are. I don't care. Like, there's no debating with me. Like, Akuma is easily the best character in this game. It's one of the single most OP characters in any fighting game ever, actually. I think Akuma in Street Fighter 2. He's just insane. Like, Ryu and Ken moveset with noticeable differences. You could jump and fucking fireball down, which was OP as shit. You could like kind of teleport across the screen. Now I always forget the actual name of it, but like his raging demon attack thing, obviously is like legendary. My God, just everything about Akuma is cool. His look, his concept, his design, even his fucking entrance when you're about to face off against Bison and he comes in and like beats his ass, and then it's like, oh, new challenger approaches. Oh shit. Just everyone remembers the first time they fight Akuma. I feel like it was that legendary. It was kind of probably the ultimate challenge in Street Fighter and like all the games, to be honest. Beating Akuma in this. And yeah, he deserves to be in a tier of his own. The colouring on the tiers is a bit fucked up there, but yeah, Akuma was fucking unbelievable. DJ was pretty good, pretty solid DJ. I was good with him. I'm gonna put him in great, right at the top. He had fireballs, his charge and kick, and his spam punch attacks were pretty good. His throws were good. I'm going to sum them up quicker because I want to wrap up. I said I'd do about half an hour and kind of going over it. It's pretty solid all around. I feel like he was one of the most balanced characters. His jumping, etc. was good. It's kind of a weaker Ryu and Ken, really, I think. He had his projectile, he had decent low attack. It was a bit like what's it called, Dalton as well. I think if I remember, you could like duck and do an attack to actually like not only get under a fireball but get closer to your opponent. He'd kind of do this slide. Cool character, of course. Jamaican, the reggae is his stage, and oh god, you love the fact he fights with a smile, boys. It's such a weird thing, but like I don't know, you can't help but play with DJ and Smile. I feel like they captured the essence of like Jamaican like reggae. Like he's just fun to use. This evil looking Akuma, I don't even remember what this is from, but obviously he just goes in the tier with Akuma. I just put him. Shit, that's off screen. Yeah, I put him in the tier with that. Just higher. Zangief, I was just never great with Zangief. I'm just gonna put him in okay. And again, I feel like Zangief in an official ranking, if you like, or like the widely held consensus, is probably going to be a lot higher. But I was just never good with him, and I found him easy as fuck to fight against. There's such an easy hack. Even Zangief on like a high level difficulty. Usually I'd be using Ryu. I'd just jump and kick on the way down. Jump up, press heavy kick, and just keep spamming that, and you do like fucking most of the damage and make him dizzy, then you just wail on him with a combo or something. Like I don't know, I never found him that good. He does have a strengths, of course, I can acknowledge. His throws do a lot of damage, probably the most of all the throws in the game, I feel like. But I was just never great at them. His normal throw was pretty sick, I guess. Bit of a reminds me of King. He just picked the opponent up and fall back. His stage is the coolest stage. Well, like nah. It's probably his second favorite theme though. Zangief's theme. Fucking love it. He had like his little spinning punch thing, kind of like windmill punch, and you could get through fireballs that actually get a bit closer to the opponent. But like Zangief never had. Which is weird, actually. I was going to say he never really had many good anti-airs, but like I said, I always seem to do well against Vega with Zangief. I don't know why. Everything about it should suggest no. But to be honest, yeah, I always felt like he was the character I was weakest with, Zangief. It pains me to say that, because I do love him, but I'm just putting him in okay. Fei Long, last up. Bruce Lee, basically, of course. I don't think he was as good as Law in his respective game. I'm just going to put him in good. And the question is where. I think right there. Yeah, his special moves were sick. I feel like his kick special one, where he kind of like rises up with a kick and it goes like fire, it's probably the coolest special move in the whole fucking game, except Akuma's finisher. Like the animation of it, I just fucking loved. It was badass. Yeah, there's charging punches where you'd kind of move closer to the opponent. That was pretty sick, actually. That looked proper Dragon Ball Z, actually, like the way you do it. What else did he have? I can't even remember his throw right now for some reason. I'm sure he would have had another special move as well. That's not a great sign. I can't even remember his throw. I don't know, I liked Fei Long. I feel like his stage was a bit gaudy, to be honest. A bit tacky, like. There's too much shit going on. There's like peacocks in the background and fountains and all sorts of shit. Theme was pretty good. I just love the character design, of course, because it's Bruce Lee, and I fucking love Bruce Lee. Fei Long was a solid addition, but for sure, like, he wasn't my favourite of the 4 new characters. You've seen, of course, in this list, quite clearly, like, a lot of the OGs were higher than the new characters. Take Zangief out, and 3 of the 4 newer characters were lower down. That was always bound to happen, because I used the OGs a lot more. I never actually played with the new characters until I was about 13, 14, I think. Got Street Fighter 2 again, but then got like the newer character edition. When I was a kid, it was just like the original 12. Still bound to be lower down, but he at least makes it ahead of Kami and T-Hawk and Zangief. But yeah, that's my list, guys. Let us know how your list would differ, how it was similar. It's bound to be some things I said wrong because I just haven't remembered the game. It's been a long time since I played Street Fighter 2. I played it a lot, but it's been at least a few years. Yeah, the final list goes like this. And Tear of Zone Akuma, both the evil version and standard. Is that just like a demon version of him or some shit? I don't know. Then we have World Warrior, like God tier basically. Akuma's just beyond a god. God tier of Ryu, Ken, Zangief, Ryu, Ken, Vega, Blanka, Sagat, and Bison. And in Great tier, DJ, Honda, Dalson, Guile. Good tier, Balrog, Chun-Li, Fei Long, Kami, T-Hawk. Okay, we got Zangief, and then the tier of the characters that I just never used. Still have no idea. Let me know who the fuck this robot guy looks is. Sorry, he looks like he's got a fucking. Why does that look like the Vietnamese star? Was it a lightning bolt from Harry Potter, motherfucker? I know who that is. Is it Set or Seth? I don't know. And then, yeah, I never used like this evil Ken or evil Ryu in Street Fighter 2. So let me know where you'd rank them as well. I've no fucking idea. I guess Ryu and Ken and just go next to them. I mean, fuck it. I know what they're gonna play like. I might as well put them in. Just like that. They're probably better than the standard versions, I would imagine. So they probably deserve to be like top 2 there. So we put Ryu back. Sorry, this is off screen a bit. There we go. I'll zoom back out. So revised list. I mean, I don't know why I didn't put them in any. I already know they're going to play, I imagine. That is the final list, guys. Like Tekken 2, most of them are like above average. But that is because it's a game, one of the fighting games I'm best at. Future Street Fighters, I've got to have a lot of characters lower down, so just didn't play them as much. Like Street Fighter 5, I tried it and that, just couldn't really get into it. I feel like modern fighting games, there's just too many characters, if anything, to master them all. Street Fighter 2, it was a pleasure using all of them. Sometimes simpler is better. They have about 5, 6, 7 unique moves each, and then kind of generic anti-airs and stuff. But man, like it was such a good game, legendary game. The GOAT of all of them, and that is my list, guys. So yeah, let me know how it got on. Hope you enjoyed this one. I'll be back with another tier list soon. Maybe even diverge away from video games. I don't know. I might do stuff on like just other subjects. I don't know, like music, sports, for example. Who knows? Probably will come back. I think I'm gonna do a GTA one soon. GTA games, which should be good. Got a few other ideas, and yeah, I'll just browse tier list maker. If I see one that takes me fancy, I'll just do one. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you again for another tier list, which should be coming along very soon.